All right, buddy. Welcome back. We have round three. Lucas is apparently at some point sitting there. We have TJ back again, sitting on the other side this time. So now I have to change the names around. Yeah. Oh, I murdered his name. He's gonna be so upset with me.
Who?
TJ. We'll call our creativity. His record is 2-0 against Lucas down forward on Bant. Hold on. Is Lucas 2-0? Good question. He is 2-0. Nice. So we have TJ Radzak again back on four color creativity against Lucas Stanford, who's on Bant Reclamation. Bant Wilderness Reclamation. Sorry for that noise. It's not supposed to happen. Start round timer. We're kicking off. Life totals obviously are not correct. Did not change them. There we go. 19. Lucas is at 20. That's again, it's probably to get either Fire Ice up or start up a Ren and 6. Keeping Lucas from doing anything on turn 3 by icing down a land potentially. But most likely we're probably going to see a Ren and 6 come down. Says it out loud and we see a counter spell. And then you put the spell in the stack. Gets it. Very nice. Yeah. These guys are really good friends. They were joking around before. He's like, "Do you just want to split?" And we have 4 rounds. So that was like a big joke. And this is round 3. So yeah, they're good friends. They're just letting it ride. So Ren again from TJ. But Lucas now has the Baby's Fairy down. Going to be able to interact with TJ on his turn a lot. Minus no target, draw. I think was looking to hit a land. These Bant Rec decks are a little bit short. A little bit short on lands. I want to say they are around the 24 range. Lucas might be playing more, might be playing less, but 24 is generally the max. You get a lot of your mana from Trigger and Wilderness Rec, and you have a lot of instant speed spells. The main thing you're wanting to be doing in this deck is to use Memory Deluge to fill up your hand with the answers that you need until you start cycling Nexus of Fate, and then not potentially, but at some point putting in a Shark Typhoon while also taking extra turns and then kill them with sharks is the normal way that generally happens. Lucas might be on something slightly different. Used to play Bant Rec a lot. Took a break from Magic for a while, got in the RuneScape grind, and decided it was time to come play a couple events with the homies. Draws another card. I think missed a land again. Does have a counter spell up, so his turns aren't completely dead. And along with an Archmage's Charm. TJ does nothing on his turn. Might cycle that to draw 2. Hey, Grug, listen, there's no announcement on Discord. Taryn can do that. And he did not, so he knows we're live on Friday. He gets in. 4-night token is his Goblin Shaman. We're just going to try to cycle that to draw 2. TJ might not allow it considering that Lucas missed a land drop for 2 turns in a row. Spell Pierce. Lucas finally draws a land, so it doesn't matter Archmage's Charm. Didn't get to do anything, but kind of did what we wanted. It's really tanking here to let that go and finally choose to do so. So it was make a treasure, draw 2, discard 2. And then there's a fetch on end step. You know, the dwarf TJ's probably not going to budge or do anything until he has to. It's just going to sit there and hit Lucas over and over with these smaller amount of creatures. And then once Lucas finally figures out an answer to those, we'll then probably see TJ flip out an Archon. Also, a lot more viable to do so once our Kiki does not have the summoning sickness from flipping into a creature. Because putting in an Archon, making a copy, and giving it haste, pretty strong thing you can be doing. Another swing in for 4. Make another treasure. Lucas down to 11 now. Probably be down to 10. Probably has another basic island to fetch here. Could potentially be a forest, but most likely an island. We'll fire off a Memory Deluge. TJ can also, next turn, technically just untap Hardcast Archon. Doesn't really have to risk anything by going with creativity. He's getting pretty close to being able to cast it while also holding a mana leak up. He's trolling Lucas, saying, which one's your hand? Joking with him. Untap here. Another Memory Deluge. You kind of want to find those in the mid to late game. Never necessarily want a ton of them early. Can't really do a whole lot with them, especially with TJ having such a aggressive board state as is already. I shot a 9. Lose cards in hand, do you mean specific cards or do you mean like how many? He should have a lot because he missed the land drop quite a few times. Number? Now looks like we are up to 6. We still have a land to potentially play off this growth spiral. Now we're to 5. Was close until he hit the land because he went for an Archmage's Charm on instep to draw 2. That got countered. Then he drew a land, so he went down on 2 cards. Memory Deluge went up 2 cards plus draw, which followed up by a land, growth spiral, land. So, yeah, been using a lot of cards. But again, TJ just not budging at all. Puts Lucas down to 5. Or 4, I mean. Takes 5 down to 4. Yeah, it's very possible he still just doesn't get anything going. By the time he answers this, it's just probably going to be roughly too late. He's down to 3. Now dies just Archon. But I think TJ attempted to pass turn. So we're going to see another... We're going to see a Shark Typhoon cycle. Maybe that was the draw. It wasn't another copy of Memory Deluge. That's a cool Shark token, though. Wilderness Wreck has officially been drawn. Can be played with counterspell backup. So basically, it can be played with counterspell backup, which will resolve, and then you would kind of have to have a Nexus. Which I don't believe he has. to string a couple turns together because he's still dead on board. So Wilderness Wreck comes down. TJ's probably going to force him to have it by mana leaking. Also, mana leak's just getting way worse. Lets it go. I think it's fine. At the time, I think he knew the math worked out that if Lucas would untap cast Nexus, he'd be able to counter it, but the extra land drop coming down will make it unable to happen. So floats 2 in response to the untap trigger. We're going to see 2 more tap to cast another copy of Memory Deluge. TJ lets that go. Doesn't have to fight over it. There's a Solitude, which can be played but will get leaked. And then this game will be over. Because no matter what Lucas does here, TJ still has the option to hard cast Archon. Lucas is also trying to get to 1 more turn. He's going to put another Wilderness Reclamation in hand. Probably the Solitude as well. To hope to basically go to 1, I think. It's all hope here. Lucas knows that he's pretty much dead to right, so he has to take the most optimal chance to win. And if you put 2 Wilderness Rex in play, like, you're going to be able to flash his Memory Deluge back from the graveyard. Hope to find an extra turn spell, but probably won't be able to. Looks like we're making another copy with the Kiki. Then we're probably going to swing all out here. There's a Besaidu as well, just to blow up this Wilderness Reclamation. So any progress that Lucas made is basically getting nullified now. Combat. Solitude. Here comes the leak. And that's just going to be game. Starting hands. Lucas on to play. Finds himself down a game. Just says, I'm going to fetch now. No reason for me not to. Especially when Lucas is going to be able to get a Triumph. We're playing Reclamation before the Spar's Headquarter came out. I think it's Spar's Headquarter. Still call them Triumphs. You just kind of had to awkwardly be the 1/3 color deck not playing a Triumph to figure out your mana perfectly. Game plan so far is mirroring. Both first fetch, get out a Triumph. Neither have to worry about anything like a Blood Moon or any those type of effects. Second fetch land pass, no ice for TJ. If they're even still in, not necessarily the best deck to ice down. Lucas makes another land drop, would have counterspell open most times. Fetch here. Gonna ice now though. So TJ's down to 16. Army's Charm. Going to draw 2 and just let the ice tap down. Tap down and already tap card. Lose max cards in hand. Here comes the Wrenn. Evan's Veto in hand for Lucas. A couple Prismatic Endings in hand for Lucas. We'll see what he elects to do. There's Shock down to 17. Prismatic End the Wrenn. No Spell Pierce for TJ. So getting to deal with that early while also holding up a Dovin's Veto to counter anything super important. Not going to be able to hit a Fable if that's what TJ likes to go for, but maybe Lucas has a counter spell in hand. Might have all situations covered. Don't believe so. Does have a Wilderness Wreck and a Solitude though. It's probably roughly where he wants to be. Say, or from the past, there's a Wrenn at 6. So we have a land, slam Wrenn at 6, be able to Dovin's Veto or pay for a Spell Pierce. See what happens. Fairy resolves. Most likely going to bounce the token. Lucas doesn't want to have to deal with TJ being able to just snap off creativity and have to defend it if he had to defend his fairy. A bolt here. Lets it go. Defending Baby's fairy there would be a mistake. Lucas not falling into it. One thing I wish Magic had, obviously it is not, but I think it would be like incredibly cool if Magic had like the meter on the side, like you have in chess games that tell you if you blundered really hard, to just see it go crazy when somebody makes a certain play. I think it'd be super funny.
That's why we're here, bro. We call out those blunders.
I'm not smart enough to call out blunders. Warner Shrek comes down.
9 times out of 10, you know the line. So I mean, like,
Nah. Besides you blowing up the Wilderness Reclamation. I imagine meter in my head, so I play better. Yeah. Well, that looks horrible. Connor sent me a picture that he now has 3 living ends suspended because he had nothing else to do, and he's drawn all the copies of living end. He's playing against blue-white control, so he's just gonna make him deal with it every turn.
he's playing against 4 color.
I mean, it's blue-white at the end of the day.
Sure, but
we're gonna get ice down here. So, very upsetting position for Lucas to be in. He did get the Wilderness Track down, and he had a Dovin's Veto up, but it just didn't get to deal with. It doesn't get to deal with the Besaju. And Besaju gets to blow that up, put him down on mana. Could have gotten a land untapped. I believe he didn't. I looked away. So he would have had 3 mana available in case of an ice. Now TJ has the ability to creativity, put in an Archon. He's going to creativity for 2, so it's either counter this or nothing. Blues does have a Nexus. It does get countered by the Spell Pierce in TJ's hand right now. Lucas will go down from 15 to 9. Discard 2. And TJ will draw 2 while also already having the Spell Pierce. And the way Iona is read, I said we probably wouldn't bring it in, but we might still bring it in because it says it can't cast spells of a certain color. So if TJ just like put in Iona and they blew, like Lucas probably can't do much about it. He can Solitude it, I guess. Nah, Archon's probably better. So, the cool part. TJ is back to his starting life total. It's like he never went anywhere. He's thinking really hard about when he wants to discard. Memory Deluge not being the worst one of all time to discard. We can play that back later. Now we have Spell Pierce for TJ. We have Mana Leak as soon as he untaps. It'll take a lot for Lucas to get out of this. Probably be somewhat to start off with Solitude. And hold a veto up. not. And that's still not enough. Because one Archon swing drains you for 3 and then it hits. So then you lose all 9.
So unless Lucas can get rid of both, he's kind of just done for.
Yes, sir. And getting rid of both puts TJ all the way up to 32. That's the case. 3 mana to Fairy. You can get rid of 1. If Fairy resolves, but a Spell Pierce is available. We know about it, and that's going to be the game, I believe. Yeah, he had a Solitude to get rid of 1. Really needed that Fairy to resolve. Or to be able to cast a Nexus.